In this forecast, Invest 98L has formed in the Gulf of Mexico. This system could potentially bring a load of rain to southern Texas, and a major pattern change will bring significantly cooler weather to portions of the United States next week and more rain. All of that and more is coming right up. Hey everybody, welcome back to another max velocity weather forecast, and today what we're going over is the tropics along with the potential flash flooding in South Texas, and as well as the severe weather potential for today, tomorrow, and as well as Monday with a low chance of tornadoes today. I'll get to the latest on those details and more for you in this forecast. Let's begin though with the tropics and what is currently going on in the Gulf of Mexico. Well, we do have an area of development. Now, it's not something that you should be panicking about by any means, but this is an area of development that we've been watching for the last 48 hours or so. It has a 20% chance of developing really over the next 12 to 24 hours. It will likely make landfall before the night is over tonight. However, this might bring a potential for flooding. That is the biggest concern as of right now, regardless of its development in the southern portions of Texas. As of right now, you can see the thunderstorm activity is fairly impressive. I mean, we can see there's a lot of thunderstorms associated with this system. However, it is not very organized right now. It has about 12 hours until it will make landfall. So again, it will likely start to try to organize once it gets closer to Texas. If it becomes a tropical depression or a very weak tropical storm, I would not be shocked, but it's not really going to be any different from what we're already going to see. All right, let's take a look at the future radar in terms of what to expect over the next couple of days. You can start to see the area of circulation will make landfall down here near Corpus Christi overnight tonight. And overall, you kind of see the HRR model not keeping a whole lot of thunderstorm activity with this at some points, which would likely indicate that we're not going to see a tropical storm. It's just not the characteristics that we need. Eventually going to the overnight hours, you can see we start to see a lot more shower and storm activity tomorrow that starts to fill in, especially down here in southern portions of Texas. Again, near Corpus Christi, for example, seeing a potential for a lot of rain tomorrow, as well as even near Houston. We might see some showers and storm activity over that way, just due to how much humidity we have and as well as the air mass that we're seeing with this system. Eventually going to late Sunday into Monday, this starts to move into Mexico. You can start to see it still has a little bit of a circulation there, but overall, it's really not going to be anything beyond just rain and that potential for flooding. Now, rainfall totals are going to likely be pretty high with this in isolated locations. Not everybody's going to see 3+ inches, but some areas could get potentially all the way up to a foot of rain, depending on what happens. Now, the HRR model is going really overboard with the rainfall totals as of right now. You can see closer to the southern portions of Texas, the highest rainfall totals in isolated locations have been between 6 to 8 inches of raining. Keep in mind, that's over about a 24-hour span, so it's not all going to fall within a couple of hours. This will be kind of probably over a good amount of time. That should hopefully limit the amount of flash flooding that we see out of the system, but you can see the HRR model is going insane. I mean, it says 16 inches of rain in one spot in Texas. That just seems way overboard, so I'm really not thinking we're going to see any more than maybe 8 inches of rain in a couple of isolated spots. But obviously, that is a lot of rain in a short amount of time, so just keep that in mind. Again, turn around, don't drown if you're on those roadways. Here's a look at the overall WPC. That's the Weather Prediction Center's outlook for flash flooding tomorrow. There is a slight risk down there in southern portions of Texas. That also goes into Monday for areas just kind of in the southwestern portions of Texas, so just off to the west of Corpus Christi. Other than that, that flash flooding potential should start to dwindle later Monday. Here's a look at what Invest 98L is projected to go to at this point. It's going to go directly west. This is not going towards North Texas or anyone that really needs rain. Obviously, a lot of people were hoping for that. Unfortunately, that is just not the situation. It will likely go directly west, and really, it's going to take that westerly pattern. It might even go towards even areas like the Arizona, maybe Mexico, could even go toward the Pacific Ocean. We'll see how long this lives, but obviously, it's going to be going over some tough terrain over there in Mexico. All right, let's take a look at the severe weather potential for today. There is currently a marginal threat for severe weather for southern Wisconsin, northern Illinois, eastern Iowa. Now, why is this a concern? Well, there is actually a chance that we see a brief and potentially weak tornado this afternoon or evening, maybe just one. I'm not expecting a tornado outbreak by any means. We're not expecting several tornadoes, but there might be 1 or 2 brief tornadoes with how much shear that we do have. There's a lot of shear available, but as of right now, obviously the setup is just not there for anything maybe beyond a couple of tornadoes. As of right now, this is your tornado outlook. It's primarily going to be off to the west of Chicago and west of Milwaukee, luckily, but obviously just keep that in mind. Otherwise, damaging winds is the main concern with any of these storms today. By 6 to 7 o'clock, a couple of storms firing up near Galesburg as well as Davenport. Eventually by 8 to 9 o'clock, storms moving down to the south and also off to the east. Some storms back up near Milwaukee as well as Chicago. And eventually 10, 11 o'clock, most of the storm activity shifting east or south. Most of the severe weather should be done no later than midnight tonight, so we should be seeing too much beyond then. And eventually going to tomorrow, we should be drying out for those locations after that system moves through. There is also another marginal threat for severe weather going into tomorrow for those in Nebraska, as well as southwestern South Dakota, eastern Wyoming, and extreme northeastern Colorado. Damaging winds, isolated large hail, my main concerns there. And also heading into Monday, there's another marginal threat back down from Virginia into eastern portions of Georgia. The main threats, again, damaging winds, maybe some isolated large hail. Beyond that, not expecting a tornado threat with that system, but also a lot of good news next week, by the way. Looking from the 18th to the 22nd, the Climate Prediction Center is currently forecasting below average temperatures for a large portion of the United States, and it's been a brutal summer so far. So this is going to come in a lot of handy for a lot of those people that have been hoping for some cooler weather. Most notable spots at this point, obviously Texas has not seen much of a cool down recently. Cool down is expected going into next week, temperatures from the hundreds into the low to mid 90s. Other than that, you can see the most notable cool downs are these darker blue areas. Those areas have the best chance for a little bit of below average weather for this time of the year. Also going into the 8 to 14 day outlook, this is from the 20th to the 26th of this month. You can also see that area is still ongoing for a large area of the United States, primarily though in the central and southern plains and the mid and southern portions of the Mississippi Valley. So that's what we're looking at as of right now. Make sure to hit the subscribe button down below. Make sure to like the video if you have not already. This forecast is brought to you by Platinum Contracting and All Debts Repair.